6:36.
wait, sorry. Mark, can you hear us? Mark,
We're here.
can you hear us?
Yes,
Can you
we
hear
can hear
us?
you.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Great.
Bobby,
Go
we
ahead.
can
Call the
hear you.
meeting to order, 6:36.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Roll call. Willie Joe?
Here.
Ike?
Here.
Tony?
Here.
Paul? Paul?
No.
Tom?
No.
Tom?
No.
Kalani?
Here.
Mark?
Here.
We have quorum, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we got the introduction, there's no guests. Malia Chow from NOAA emailed me the other day and said that the other people that were gonna come in couldn't make it, so they're gonna reschedule. So we're not gonna have any presentation today from them. That's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Okay, and then we got Bobby Command, Lincoln, and Barbara here also. Thank you. Okay, the minutes have been read and distributed to you. Are there any corrections? I went through some of it the other day. I think I went through like half. And it was like, I ran out of time. It's pretty good. It just has some, the names and things are off. Okay, Ike moves to adopt. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have 5 ayes.
Tony, before you read the minutes, Barbara was saying she's still having a little bit of a hard time figuring out who's talking and stuff, so just keep that in mind as we go along.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have copies of them?
Just lay down a copy of the minutes. There's. Take down those. He texted me. He's in a meeting. He probably forgot.
It's probably business.
Yeah.
Barbara, that
What was
was,
that?
Ike made the motion and Kalani seconded.
Got it, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I can wait on public testimony. Just because we can go through some of the issues. Yeah. Is that okay?
Do we have anybody signed up for public testimony?
No sign issue? No, there is a
Does
second.
anyone want to testify?
Anybody want to?
Anybody? Okay, go ahead. Why don't you have to take public testimony
Okay.
before any agenda items are discussed.
Okay.
Steve.
All right. Steve, state your name clearly, please. Preferably your first and last name.
Perfect. Stephen Rouge. I'd like to comment on, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but it will be on the unfinished business.
Right here has one.
I think it'll be second to the last. Yeah, okay, it would be under unfinished business, second to the last dot, working with the county council to develop a resolution for the state of Hawaii to look at the endangered species list and see if something can be delisted. The comments I'd like to make on that is that what should be done in this case is not to have the county council just develop a resolution on something that they're not familiar with. What I suggest is that this body create the package and submit the package with the species that can be delisted and those that can be downlisted, along with a cover letter and a cover letter stating the reason why, and also create the legislation for that. So in other words, you're going to give the county council a complete package. And maybe they might just have to amend the resolutions, the therefores, and all that kind of thing. But you would actually do the work for them. Because if the county council, the way I look at this is, and being that I have done this before, yeah, is that if they just go and create a resolution and submit them to the DNR, which I guess is the state that you're talking about, state of Hawaii, the response could come back saying, we are presently not releasing at this time. Power, end of conversation. So, this takes some discussion. If you guys would like to discuss this thing, I will stay here till the end of the meeting. At the time of this, if you guys want some logistics on how to do it, I'd be more than happy to give you guys the.
Talk a little bit about it right now.
Oh, okay.
Ike,
So I think that's a good idea. This is, I concur with that idea, and I would invite Mr. Arush to participate by giving us a draft of that, since you did it before.
Okay.
And if you don't wanna do that, then I'd be willing to sit down with you and do it, but you need to help me do that.
Okay, I'm willing to assist this body, okay? When I did it myself, back in the 90s, it took me a month to go gather the information, compile the information, and do it. Okay, 1 month is too long, okay? If you're looking at delisting has a time frame, which I presume that this body is not aware of. Okay, the delisting by the federal, by the Fish and Wildlife Service comes every 5 years. Okay, so it was proposed in 2010. It is due next year, 2015. The one after that is going to be in the year 2020.
do you know what time of year that is?
Well, around March. Okay, so if this body, which it consists of, well, 1, 4, 5 guys right now, okay, everybody does their share. This can be accomplished in a week. If I'm gonna do it, it's gonna take a month. And the timeline, like I said, is short, because if it's going to the county council, it has to go to 3 readings. You're looking at 3 months.
Yeah, I think it's something that is probably doable, but to get, even just like the 5 of us, because of the geographic and then work and schedules and things like that, it would have to be, I mean, we'd have to know more about it first of all, to even know where to even start looking, to see the list of the species, what they are, where they're located, what's found,
If
in
you have
what
a
quantity.
template right now, not right now, but you can give us a template so that we can gauge what it's gonna take,
Okay.
you know, but that's my hesitancy to just go ahead and do this. I don't know anything
Okay,
about.
first of all, every member should have the copy of the Endangered Species Act, the Federal Endangered Species Act of 1973. Okay, second of all, you need.
1973, that's never been updated?
Nope.
So why are they doing
It looks like
ecosystem
this.
approach today?
This is the Endangered Species Act, right here. Very simple, jumping the words.
Yeah, I've read that, but to me, that was species specific, and now it's,
It is
Ecosystem.
species, no, it is species specific. The State Endangered Species Act, I don't know if you guys are aware of that, the state has an Endangered Species Act. It's chapter 195D.
yeah, I know all about that.
So, it is also species specific because it mirrors this. Okay, so, this one says, any individual can petition the Secretary of Interior and the Secretary of Commerce for listing or delisting. Okay, the chapter 195, the state one says it requires 3 people. Okay, so you need the endangered species, because you create a cover letter, you have to quote some of this, okay? Now, you also need a copy of the endangered species list, which is readily available from the Fish and Wildlife Service. You get the one with the scientific name, the common name,
Readily available, like,
yeah, you can just ask for them.
online?
You can get one.
I don't know
Go to
if
Freedom of
online.
Information Act?
I don't know if it's online, but I suggest you will need.
The list is online.
You will, the only problem with the online one versus the hard copy, the hard copy is official.
Right.
You get them from
Okay,
there,
okay,
it's
okay,
official.
before we get too far in this, what is our expertise to know what can be listed and delisted?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a
You also,
biologist
I,
or plant,
okay, you go, you request either from the Fish and Wildlife Service or the Department of Land and Natural Resources. They have plant cluster management plan books, drafted by the Fish and Wildlife Service. They got the Big Island, Hawaii, Big Island Plant Cluster Management Plan, Oahu Plant Cluster Management Plan, and they also have a multi-island plant cluster management plan. So if you can get all three, if you cannot get the one that says multi-island. Okay, the delisting criteria and downlisting criteria is listed.
okay, that's
couple
much
pages.
information. What you need to do is put that down in writing. I think Ike was lamenting to, kind of a checklist for us to start, so we can have those things ready available for Peter here to take notes on all those different plans and things like that, and where to look for stuff and all that. It's beyond the scope of this at this time. But if you can put that down in writing, and we have a hard copy of that, then we can be listening and thinking and writing down how we can go about doing that. But right now, I'm trying to figure out all this, from the time frames to all these
Just
different
that
plans
really.
and to everything like that. And that, I mean, this is like a full-time job already, I look at this. At that point, so. If you can provide something in writing that has this stuff already for us to look at, and then we can say, okay, then I can start looking at it on the side and see how hard it is. Because, I mean, sometimes it may be easy to get the information, and other times, I mean, the way things have been here to get information has been quite difficult with the DLNR and the time process, and to get a hold of somebody to even get the information. So, that's my suggestion.
Well, I'm willing to sit down with you, Steve, and put down that process. But you need to meet.
But the rest of the, you know, I know this is, you guys looking at how hard work is going to be, okay? So look at it from this standpoint. It's time consuming, okay, for one. It's a little time consuming. But this, the list, the plant list and the species listed, yeah, is the actual cause of all the problems. So, if you can get rid of the cause of the problem, now you can have the management. Because along with the plant listing, the entire state forest reserve system is critical habitat. In case you guys don't know that, everything, Hawaiian homes, lots of private property is critical habitat. So you cannot have green management in critical habitat. So if you get rid of if you can have the species delisted and downlisted, now you get rid of critical habitat. Now you have open areas for green management, for recreation.
Okay, when we get to this part, then let's talk a little bit more about it. Okay, well, let's go to the agenda. Okay, thank you, Stephen.
Sure.
Okay, reports, Lincoln, that was something that was on the draft that probably shouldn't have.
You talking about the Concom?
Yeah,
What case are you talking about?
that was Doi versus.
No, the cases I read all talked about issue specific. I don't think that there was any specific finding, was there?
I don't know, I don't know how to
I
interpret the
wasn't
law.
able to find it.
Yeah.
I guess I need a little narrower scope here. I need a little more direction.
Okay. Okay.
I wasn't able to find, I mean, I shepherdized all the cases, I couldn't find any. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think in general, because it was under the Attorney General's footnotes about this ratification of them, there was a bunch of things.
Footnote where?
I don't know, I don't have my.
Yeah, you gotta help me out.
Yeah, okay. Okay, unfinished business,
I think, there's.
So Tony, let's go back to that one.
okay,
It's Mark, by the way. So, Lincoln, I don't understand. So you're asking, I mean, it's pretty clear here in the 78 Constitutional Convention, game animals were removed from the natural resources.
Where does it say that? Where did the Supreme Court say that? What case, where's the citation? I need that. I need it.
Yeah, I always have.
I mean, I can't-
You need it. So you, I mean, okay, so, we go find a lawyer to research this for us?
Yeah,
that what you
I can't-
need?
Hard to, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so,
I guess so.
yeah.
I think.
Isn't that
I
with
think-
corporation
wait,
counsel?
wait.
I mean, don't you have lawyers?
Yeah, we can find some.
I think, prior to the Con in '78, there was reference to, game management or resource game, something.
Yeah, game was
That's
listed as a
correct.
natural
Right.
resource.
And then
That's
after the Con, that particular, section was taken out. And there was some question as to whether or not, that part was, ratified or
I
not.
totally agree with what you're saying.
Okay, so now,
I agree that there was a question,
right.
but it was never properly litigated because it was
Right,
never
right.
right
So-
for consideration.
So my next question would have been just that. Has that ever been
No.
litigated? So, in fact, what we have now, if we read the Constitution, it doesn't have that, but there's a footnote. So, how much,
Zero. You don't put any credence on a footnote. There's a reason it's a footnote.
okay, so essentially what's driving the Constitution today is that statement. And that footnote is just something that it's.
They call that dicta.
Yeah,
So actually, your agenda, this statement is erroneous. That's an erroneous legal conclusion. That's why I couldn't find it.
so how is it possible for us to get that thing back in? You'd have to have another
You
country.
need an actual case of controversy because that's exactly what the OHA case talked about, the lack of case of controversy. So you gotta pick and choose, make sure you got something that the court's gonna grant certiorari, and that's the only way you're gonna get guidance.
And so far, nobody has done that.
You can find a lawyer, maybe.
So, and just for clarification, a footnote is essentially there to tell you exactly what they're saying. It was there, now it's not there anymore. That there's some information saying this is why.
It's an issue, but they're not gonna decide it.
Mhm.
I mean, judges do that all the time. Horace said, there's an infirmity with respect to the charter regarding residency requirements.
Right.
But I'm not gonna say it's unconstitutional, but I'm gonna say it's a problem,
There's a question.
right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It happens.
So how would we go
I
about,
don't know, man, it's a big driving to string.
So, I mean, so help a layperson here, Lincoln. I mean, it was in the Constitution specifically mentioning game animals. Now it's not in the Constitution. So it went away in some way, shape, or form. Yet there's statutes that require DLNR to manage game animals. Right? I mean, I don't know if those two are related or if they're not related. I mean, if it's in the Constitution, we can push the state to manage them. If it's not in the Constitution, it's a little tougher. Maybe not. I don't know,
I don't know.
you don't know. So how do we find out?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna make it up. I don't know.
I mean, so Lincoln, let me ask you this, right? So, I don't know, Tony, was it 183D or 182D
Yeah,
or whatever it is?
183D. That's a statute.
183D.
Yeah.
It's a statute, correct?
Yes.
It's a statute. and it clearly tells DLNR that they need to manage stuff. Game, right? And game, by our definition, and by, I would assume, every hunter's definition, you know, pigs, sheep, goats, axis deer, game birds, game, right? Terrestrial game. I would sit here and look at this and say, DLNR does not have a game management plan. They're not managing them, they're eradicating them. I don't know that they're following the statute. Now, the statute needs money placed against it in order to be, I think, but they collect our hunting licenses, right? We all pay our hunting license. That's money going into it. I mean, Lincoln, do I have a case against the state?
I don't know.
Not that I'm even suggesting that we sue.
You know
Right,
what?
I'm not.
I don't know.
But, I mean, do I have a case against the state?
I don't know, and I'll tell you this, if I did know, I wouldn't discuss it publicly.
Pardon me?
I said, I don't know, and if I did know, I wouldn't discuss it publicly. That's why we have executive session.
Fine.
Okay.
Take it.
let's-
All right.
Let's leave it at that.
Understood,
now.
Lincoln, thanks.
Thank you, Lincoln. Okay, but unfinished business. Okay, we talked about forming a special committee to handle county issues. 3 of you guys are here, you guys still up for that? And the issues is up to whatever you guys want to decide. I just figured these are some of the things that we talked about recently and will pertain to county-related issues.
Well, I was with Billy on Wednesday.
I thought maybe you guys pick 2, focus on one, and have one for backup in case that falls through. Then you guys don't have to start all the way back again.
I was with Billy on Wednesday, so the whole Kawawan in Kawoon that was taken care of. So
Okay,
we can kind of.
okay.
Good.
Okay, so I guess first, do you guys want to form that commission, and then somebody makes a motion, form a special committee to work on these issues, whatever they may be, and then we can pick out what they want you to be.
We're having a hard time hearing you, man. You gotta speak up.
I said, okay, we're at a motion to form a special committee to work on issues within our county. At our last meeting, Kalani, Ike, and Mark volunteered to be on this special committee or ad hoc committee. So I'm just saying, if you guys want to form that committee, make a motion to do that, and pick either 1 or 2 items from this list, or if you have another item you'd like, and then maybe focus on one and keep one as a backup in case it falls through and you have something else to work on. One of the things was this report to the county council. That's something that's way overdue. We're supposed to be doing it quarterly. I kind of spoke with Bobby about it, and he said it doesn't have to be that formal. So that's probably something that can be taken care of relatively easy.
See, you have a copy in there.
So I'll make the motion to form a subcommittee of Mark, Ike, and Kalani to work with the county council.
Do we have a second?
I second that. Billy Joe second.
Wait, be a little more specific about that. To put together the report to the county council?
No, to just form the special committee first so they can meet to discuss which ones
Right.
they're gonna want to do.
Okay, I need some help from Lincoln.
What's that?
They want to form a special committee. There
That's
are a number
under-
of things on the.
That's under
the
unfinished
here.
business.
Yeah.
This is a permitted interaction group. Under
Yes.
Sunshine, okay?
They can form the committee. Do they have to spell out which items they need to, they're planning on discussing?
Yes,
Okay, at this meeting, but they
Yes.
can't discuss it at this meeting.
right, it's a 3-meeting process.
Right.
You have to identify scope. Second meeting is report back, no deliberation. Third meeting is deliberation, decision making.
Okay,
So that's it.
You just set out the scope.
so just define what you wanna do. You guys meet.
Oh, okay, well, they,
Yeah.
They need to define what they're gonna do first. Okay,
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good list, I mean, you want,
yeah,
take them all,
Just read it into the record,
yeah.
just read it and you're covered.
Okay, so, I second the motion,
okay.
and, I guess we vote on it, and then we sit down and we say,
Yeah, can we do that? And we have to pick the items and then vote on it.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Pick the items first, and vote on it, or we can vote on it, and,
I think you can do it either way, just go ahead and,
okay, all in favor of said motion?
So like when Lincoln said, if you read them all out, then we all go with all of them.
Yeah.
Just read it into the
Yeah.
record.
Oh, okay, all right, I'll read the whole thing up. A motion to form a special committee to work on issues within our county. This committee shall consist of Kalani, Dwayne, Mark. The committee shall undertake the following: provide a report on the undertaking of the GMAC to the county council per the commission charter. Follow up on public access projects that Jordan Chokil had initiated with the county of Hawaii. Make a request to have a representative from the Hawaii County Planning Department attend one of our meetings to address public access. Work with the county council and develop a resolution asking for the state of Hawaii to look into the endangered species list. And then of course that needs to be redefined per our guest speaker. And then work with the county council and create a resolution or ordinance within Hawaii County requiring that the use of snares to trap pigs shall be checked every 24 hours. Okay. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, you guys wanna discuss any particulars?
Cannot.
Not? Okay, next meeting. Okay, our request was made to find out if the area above Tree Planting Road in the Waikea Forest Reserve is scheduled to be fenced. So I'm putting that on here, and that's something that, if somebody wants to look into that, Willie Joel, you know, anybody?
Sorry.
Number 2. Yeah, no, me too. Our request is made to find out if the area above Tree Planting Road in the Waikea Forest Reserve is scheduled to be fenced. Do you know anybody you could get a hold of it? Dolfar here, Joey Mello or somebody?
Try
Okay,
and call Joey.
it's just to ask, I had some
Yeah.
concerned citizen ask about that.
That area
Last meeting.
above Tree Planting Road. So from
On
tree
Monowal
planting
side,
up,
yeah.
you might be on sick leave, you know. It's shoulder surgery.
okay. I'll try and call.
But it seems like there's a lot of fencing going on, so you gotta have some kind of plan in on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think part of that concern is because they used to close parts of that area and they just been leaving it open now continuously. So they're wondering if they're just letting the people go in and hunt, open animals up in there. It's closed on the Saddle Road side. I mean, I
Yeah,
drive
that's what I was
every day.
saying, yeah, there's some big road, you know,
Yeah.
it's like you get.
Tree
that
Planting
side-
Road, you talking
It's about a
about?
60-mile
Yeah,
marker.
that's from Kulani
But it's
to Saddle
open,
Road.
but it's open on the other side.
That's what Joe guys and Dustin guys were saying. And they told Dylan or whatever about it over here, told our guys then.
Yeah, it's supposed to be closed
Some big road.
until July, I think, yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
The Joey, the one that closed the road, you know.
Yeah,
And
but
the
stay
open.
open this side.
No, this side, it's supposed to have one keep them there.
On what?
On, yeah, cable,
Yeah.
okay, I'll check.
Yeah, they're just trying to find out. Okay, so William Joe is gonna look into that. Thank you, Willie Joe. And then another one was number 3 is concerns have arisen over privacy issues due to the use of hidden trail cameras in hunting areas. Any discussion on that? I don't know what to say about that one, but I guess apparently some pig hunters up in Kulani side, you know, they go with their girlfriends or whatever, and then there's cameras getting placed all over the place now in there. And if it's that privacy issues then,
Well, who's putting up the cameras?
I think a lot of it is to make sure they're not cutting fence and stuff like that, along the fence lines or whatever. I don't have the details, it just was somebody that came to our last meeting and then asked if we could find out.
So Tony, these cameras are on public land?
Yes,
And Are they state cameras, are they people's cameras?
We don't
Or
know,
we don't know?
we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah,
See, that's the thing, they're not gonna tell you, it was like out in Kabul for the deer one. These guys was pulling out like 100 of them. And guys was finding them all over, but nobody was told that there was
yeah.
cameras out there too. So, you know, guys started finding these cameras out there for the deer.
And these are like what, like GoPro cameras or something?
No,
No,
trail
it's
cameras.
trail cameras, hunting
Yeah,
cameras.
infrared, it says infrared flash, so you don't even see a visual flash or anything. And it takes pretty good resolution pictures. It can cost around 150 to up and up for one.
Well, the ones they was finding was big money, big money kind, but the whole issue was nobody was notified that they had these things going on. Some of them was ranchers was finding them. When they was like, when they was driving the cattle and they come across what, you know, what is that hanging and.
Yeah. So I guess, is there any level of privacy that you can expect if you go out in the wilderness and there's cameras and all over? I don't know. I don't know if, what did they do in the mainland, if people are
Well,
putting
you know, it was like.
it on private
Well,
property?
my whole thing, yeah, because my whole thing was, with the whole, the whole movie thing, one of the whole stipulations was they needed one okay to film it in forest reserves or what have you. So isn't that, would be the same scenario? That it has to be public, you know, publicly advertised that we will be putting out cameras in certain areas to notify the public of it being existing in those areas, so public would know, instead of just put it out
You know-
because they want to.
I guess if it, you know, if it's a state camera taking pictures, I guess I'd have an issue. If it's private citizens putting up cameras in public, game cameras, I'm struggling. You know, I guess it's, I don't know.
Well, see, that's the whole thing, I mean, even if it's personal, I mean, you can get one interaction, well, you know, hey, somebody find my camera and it's my camera, and then you get this
Yeah.
discrepancy in the forest or wherever you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get so much
Yeah, I
more
do.
that needs to be critically kind of, you know, it's not like one GoPro, you know, thing on your head. Something that you left, you know, seeing that, you like see how much game come in that area on your personal note, and then somebody else finds it. You know, so I think,
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's kind of like a big thing, yeah. I don't know, I think so.
Well, you're supposed to get a film permit
Well, has
Yeah.
the
to
state,
do that, so.
has the state admitted or said that they are doing?
No, this is the first time, so we haven't looked at, so I wanted to bring it up first and see if it's something worth looking into and finding out.
To me, yeah, I mean, that should be assessed as a permitted thing,
Yeah.
because, you know, whether it's personal or not.
Right, I think the best thing to do is try and get some information on it and see if they are in fact doing that.
So like say, you know, Bobby will pull them out, and I come over there and I find his camera and I take him, he has all the paperwork saying, hey, I need that camera back. It's not a whole finders keepers kind of
They've had
thing,
it
you
around for a
know,
long
it's your property, okay, yeah, sorry. You know, serial number, oh yeah, I'm sorry, he has the paperwork, you know. Not-
Hey, Kalani, is it all in the same place?
Generally, it was spread out throughout the whole, yeah,
Yeah.
throughout the whole area. I mean,
You know,
individuals was finding them like all the way down to the beaches and stuff,
Huh.
And it's
Yeah.
all on public property,
a lot of them.
or not, maybe?
A lot of them was on Hawaii homes, a lot of them was just because of the
Not
whole
on-
issue
Not
of,
on private property.
some of them was, but some of them wasn't.
How are they,
Some of them
how are they mounted or?
Yeah, they're almost like a flat box, almost like a little bit larger than a cell phone,
Just
an
bunch
inch or
them
two
to the
thick.
trees? Well, no
You
kidding.
could strap it with a secured.
Sounds like abandoned property to me,
Yeah, exactly.
Finders keepers.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's no reasonable expectation of privacy in open lands. Cats versus Ohio, that's easy.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
See,
I'm
and
not suggesting anybody go out and do anything.
No,
for the
I
record.
know.
No, but
They've been having a
I'm
lot
not
of
gonna lie,
chaos.
a lot of them was stolen, and a lot of them was saying that they was gonna get fined for touching property.
No, well,
You know, and some of them was like near the beach, you know, because of course. you know,
and
a lot
there's
of
no
locals are-
identifying marks or anything, no identifying marks.
No, we have nothing on them, but just, these guys knew where it
And they're
was.
boxes, like,
Yeah, they come camouflage, plastic waterproof case.
Just one small
hey,
little.
can you compromise the box? Can you open it?
No, it's pretty hard, and the strap too it's almost cut proof. It's some type of, almost like a cable,
Oh, no kidding.
yeah, cable material.
Interesting.
Yeah, but see, the ones who's out there, the ones you could just Take them right out.
When I was with the Peak Hunters of Hawaii, we used to do the kind of forest rubbish cleanup. Hamako guys used to do the same thing, you only go through the forest. Yeah, we, all that kind of litter that you see hanging around, we should just pick them up, throw them in the rubbish can, Cause you need, it's against the law to litter.
Free,
Yeah.
ground score.
Carrie, you want to say something?
I would just suggest you get more information on it. I would definitely plot them out, find out how many there are, plot them on a map, and they gotta be powered somehow. So they either got solar panels or somebody's going back out there to charge them. They also have to be downloaded somehow. So there's either a transponder in
Little
them or
flash
somebody's
drive.
going out to check them. But there's information on those cameras. You might just not know what you're looking for. So get some video and some pictures and whatnot.
Was displaying the videos that he was coming out, and it was hired by the state, and there was actually university.
I wanna know who's funding it, who bought the cameras, who's paying for the solar panels, who's collecting the data, who's compiling it, and why.
Oh, girl, that would be nice. I would like
Just
to
for
know.
starters.
No, I would love to know that too.
How about that?
Okay. Probably check with Big Island Invasive Species Council if you want
That was
to. I can check with Springer
Oh,
on that.
question, Tony, Chair.
Yes, Stephen, please come to the mic, please.
Oh, okay. Just thought I'd bring it up, at one time, there was a lot of marker ribbons and stuff in Mauna Kea Forest Reserve area, it was just loaded. And I went in to see John Giffen with all the pictures that showed everything. I told him, our forests are starting to look like a sleazy used car lot in a holiday sale. We gotta end this. Well, it's true, the stuff is falling, that's quote unquote.
I like that, no, that was good.
Unsightly.
But what it came down to was anything that you put in a tree or anything for marking in any way, shape, or form has to be marked by the entity that's putting it up. And the date, either that it's gonna be pulled or the date that it went up. And if there was a time span put on it, after that, it's fair game.
All right.
So just FYI on that one.
And then I did see a camera up in Mauna Kea, it was about 5 years ago. They had an outplanting of silver swords. So I was sheep hunting, and we came back to the truck, and I said, I'm gonna take a walk over there, I have to pee and everything. So I go to the lean-to roof, and I'm looking at the silver swords, and I'm peeing, and then I'm reading the sign, and I'm reading what it is, and then it says, if you can read this sign, you're being video monitored. I'm like, oh, well, it's too late now.
Pee on it.
So,
Sounds like porn. You do that.
So I didn't think nothing of it, but then at our last meeting, one of the guys that came said, oh, he was concerned because I guess he ran across some of them along a fence line, and then was asking about that, so.
Would that have been the same thing they used to get the picture of the cat going into the Hilo bird?
That one is actually video though, most of these are stills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can take so many shots per second, it depends. And the infrared sensor on there, they use that for deer and stuff because it doesn't have a flash, so they can monitor them day and night. And the animal would trigger a motion sensor, and then it'll take 3 or 4
The other
shots.
ones do video.
It's not necessarily just for people.
Different ways.
And then it's put on a little flash drive or something like that, and then they can just pop that out, pop the new one in, and be on their way.
I think that cat on a little one was probably an actual computer type camera.
Yeah, because I was
They were like monitoring.
waiting a
that
long
thing.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
No, I mean 24/7.
Question.
Okay, I speaking.
Question is for Lincoln,
Sir,
executive session. Can we just hold one, or?
yeah, if you need a 2/3 vote of all members who are present. How many members do we have today?
5.
Hi.
So,
So we need
6.
4 to vote for the executive, is that 80%?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we need 4 to vote, go to executive session. You have to state the reason on the record for the purpose of the executive session. And the section number, and you're good.
okay, so to be fair, on this question that was asked about earlier, if
if you wanna discuss that privately and give me, which I'd strongly recommend, confidential direction in terms of what you'd like, where we go from here, that is preferred.
Okay, so we could put that off to the next meeting.
Okay?
So we'll make a request at the next meeting.
Yeah, just put it, just have it agendized for executive session.
Okay.
And then we pick a date.
Ask Mark if he heard that.
Mark, did you hear that?
I did.
Okay,
Let's do that, that's good.
okay,
Smart.
thank you.
That's smart. You don't wanna be discussing legally what we're gonna be doing for the whole world to hear,
Okay.
okay? Because that's sort of like telling the other side, by the way, this is where we're gonna invade tomorrow.
Thank you. Cool. Okay. Anything else on there? Pretty short one.
I had something on.
I lost it. You want to give it to Tony for the next meeting?
Yeah, I wanted
Or
it
new
to.
business. I
Oh,
had
I
something
know
to
what it
do for new
was.
business.
I know what it was. Can we maybe put on for the next meeting, or it might not even have to go to the meeting, but, who, or, I guess I'm wanting to know who, like for the filming and stuff like that, where do people go to get these permits? And is there an actual quote unquote rule book for, for what can be filmed and because of that TV show that I hear is being filmed again, because, they already made us look like dummies, so now they're gonna make the people on Kauai look stupid. But, I wanna know how they're coming up with their permits. And it doesn't have to be on the agenda, I guess, but if somebody could maybe enlighten me on how this
I
happened.
thought everybody read down, it was like more on a statement from Bill Ida, right? Stating that on the state level, it was, the permits was, given, but it wasn't okayed yet, but they proceeded without the authorization yet, because it was pending.
I don't know, and that's where I'm confused.
So that's why they had to stop the filming.
Yeah, and I don't think they did it on
Well, they never
state
stopped
land.
no
It was
filming.
supposed to have been all private land.
Well, that's just the controversy saying that no one's doing them on that,
Yeah.
but that was the whole.
Yeah, so I guess this is my question is, I wanna be able to understand maybe a little bit more on.
Ryan, why don't you
Yeah.
come to the mic, where Ryan
Ryan can
knows a
help
little
me.
bit
I'm
about the
sure he
permit
knows.
process, but just
Yeah,
state your name, Ryan, if you don't mind.
Ryan Watsu.
Thank you, Ryan.
It's by the Hawaii State Film Office keeps this. I guess, they have a memorandum of, who is it? I forget, DBED, I think. I'm not sure. There's a memorandum of agreement with DLNR that any, film for, I forget what it's called, but like benefit requires a film permit. There was a question for my stuff, which was utilizing it for YouTube. And apparently, I guess the Attorney General ruled that YouTube is a derived benefit. Therefore, anything on YouTube also requires a film permit, technically. So like say you wanted to go up on a beach or something and film your kids playing in the ocean, if you put it on YouTube, technically you need a film permit for that.
Right.
Technically, they're not forcing it.
Right, and we
Yeah.
discussed that once someplace
Yeah.
in the past also, but
And then all they ask for is like, you gotta have $1 million insurance.
Should say that again, brother? Should say that again, what did the AG say?
The AG said it's a derived benefit.
Well, what is a derived benefit?
I don't know, that was a language they quoted to me.
Because
Maybe-
YouTube can be
Because you
monetized,
can
probably.
monetize
So
YouTube, I guess.
personal gain, maybe, I guess.
You have a letter or something? What do you have?
They sent it in an email to me.
Can you
like,
forward it to me?
Yeah, if I can find it. I did this like a couple years ago.
Wait, you know what this is about? Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, can I ask her?
Sure.
Because now I'm freaking out. Now what? Say again?
Better not. You can monetize your YouTube channel. YouTube is a free service where you can upload videos, right?
Right.
You don't have to pay for it, you can just
Right,
do
right.
that. If your videos are popular enough,
Right.
you can monetize it, which means YouTube will pay Ryan or me for our channels, for those videos that get 10 or 20 or 100,000 views, you can get a few pennies on the dollar for that.
Who monetizes it? YouTube?
YouTube.
And it's usually done if you click, like the monetary goes up if you click, like there's ads that come up on the people's film, if you click on it, they count that. That's pretty much how it
And
works.
sometimes if your video is popular enough, whether you agree to it or not,
But-
YouTube will put those videos
Yeah.
on.
But you can specify not to monetize it, which I don't do, so.
Were you talking about like the commercials that?
Not
Yeah, like those little
Yeah.
15-second
right.
commercials.
Yeah, yeah.
Before you
Or
get to
the-
watch something,
Or the
right?
little box that you have to X out on the bottom.
Okay.
There's two levels,
But when you
and they do
upload-
them both, and they just do them to
But
you.
when you upload something on YouTube, don't you have to, don't you sign a waiver? That you waive
Probably.
any and all proprietary interests in the material that you're uploading?
I don't remember that, I don't know.
No, I mean, you probably do, it's gotta be,
I'm sure there's a
Well-
boilerplate somewhere
it's
where
gotta be.
nobody reads.
I mean, I write that crap every day.
I'd
Right?
like to see them enforce it on the, how many million visitors we have to this state every year?
Yeah,
The-
they don't
come on.
enforce it, yeah.
Right.
But technically, if you wanted to go like big commercial, they're gonna get after you. And I think it also applies to taking photos as well. So if you sell like postcards or things like that, they also have to get permits for photography as well.
They're barking up the wrong tree.
But it doesn't have any like penalty on it. It just says that if you violate it, then you're suspended from getting a permit again so far. There's no anything other than that inside of the language.
Just find that email.
Yeah, I gotta find that, yeah.
Please find it, find it for me.
Okay.
I need work for tomorrow.
But like for these film where they're coming with a crew and it's obviously for a channel or whatever they call
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
a whole
Network.
network, right? You would expect them to have some kind of permit.
Or insurance.
Yeah, so they get the permit and then, like I have the
Right,
application.
yeah, yeah, so who gives out the permit?
So that film office, so.
Just the film office?
The Hawaii Film Office.
Oh.
I guess maybe it's a D-bid thing, I'm not sure, but,
Yeah.
it comes with a big form, and you gotta fill out
You
this
gotta
thing,
apply
and you
it.
gotta show proof of, $1 million insurance minimum. And then you gotta have like what you're gonna do with the thing, and I guess they
Yeah.
approve it. I don't know, I didn't fill out because I'm not getting $1 million insurance.
Right,
but-
no. Okay. Hawaii State Film Office it's called.
Yeah.
So, and this is in relationship to the reality show that you're talking about?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay.
I guess there's a reasonable expectation of entertainment purposes, or I don't know, what? Yeah, you're not gonna answer that question, so.
No, what is that? What?
Well, I mean, if you watch your reality shows, there's some reasonable expectation to think that what's happening on a reality show is reality, or is it just fiction that apes reality, right? You know what I'm saying? Is what's
Is it
happening?
real?
Yeah, is it
Is
real
it
or not?
real?
Yeah,
What?
a
The
reality
stupid
show.
hunting show that they're
Oh,
talking
you know what,
about.
Rob? Wrestling is real too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying,
And it makes
right?
millions.
I mean, in a sense, it is real, right? I mean, maybe it's acrobatics or you know, acting, but still, it's there, it's tangible, you can touch it.
This is intriguing, Rob.
Actually,
No,
that's
it's-
Well, it's the way it's perceived,
Right,
Bobby.
but see, what I'm saying,
You know what I mean?
and what Lincoln is saying is that
Yeah.
you have to take that
Right,
into consideration,
Right,
right?
no, I understand that,
And some people
but,
absolutely believe that wrestling is real,
but
right?
it's, right, yeah.
Right, I mean,
But in this case, I mean, it's on the History Channel, it's not on Comedy Central.
Right.
You know, if you're watching something on Comedy Central or A&E or something like that,
It's a parody, yeah?
yeah, you would know that it's a reality show, and MTV,
But
right?
Occupy Hawaii.
Nothing is real on MTV.
It's all
But see, the thing that they have,
variations of the grid.
they all have in common is they make millions.
Exactly.
Einstein's
But that's my thing.
all
So anyway,
Okay.
that was all I had.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay. Ike? Go ahead.
Yeah, but you see that they're moving.
You guys-
The mic, pull the mic to you.
Oh, sorry.
Does this also include still pictures?
I
Yes,
think it does
I would-
include photography.
Yeah.
I think it does.
if you
Yeah, because you can
monetize
put
it. So
any-
like,
yeah,
you can
you,
put
if you
pictures on
post
there.
it on your Facebook, that's free, that's okay. But if you print a nice postcard and sell it at the gift shop, that's monetized. If you're the History Channel or A&E and you come over here, not only, I mean, they're a conglomerate. So if they screw up their permit, they might not only screw up the
No, I-
History
I see
Channel,
what
but,
you're saying.
right? But everything under that parent company. Whereas if you yank my YouTube channel, guess what I'm gonna do tomorrow? Start another one. Keep trying.
You
So,
could generally, my understanding was you could generally use things on the internet and YouTube under what's called the fair use
Fair use.
Fair use doctrine.
heck yeah.
Which is generally purposes that are educational, civic, or otherwise non-commercial. Right, that's
Yep.
that's a general state of the law in
Yep.
America, right? Is that what you're talking about, or what? No?
Yeah, well, what they're irritated about is that the History Channel came over here and started filming, right? Without all the proper permits and whatnot. And then that escalated into an actual TV series that ran on TV.
Oh, I see, okay.
And there's no teeth to it at all.
Fair use.
All you can do is complain about it, that you can't make them stop. And here now they're going over to Kauai to do the same thing.
And I don't think they were unhappy about the permits, they were unhappy about the
The
content.
portrayal, exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
But if you were allowed to string up trail cameras all over the place, I would have one outside the geothermal plant and outside this building and outside on public property all over the place, because, come on, why not?
They're there already. I just don't see
There are lines. We don't know.
Lonnie?
No, it's just, the whole issue to that movie is just because that's giving everybody one visual of this is what hunters are portrayed as.
Mhm.
And to have this watershed protection coming and the whole water resource and pointing fingers as you see, you know, why should we listen to people like this?
Mhm.
It's totally not justified.
No.
And that's what this show is doing. And that's why it hurts what we do here. Because the more we try and say, you know, this is what we are, this is what we are, this is what we are. Well, this show tells different. And this is the problem that gives us our time.
Which is exactly why that's a more important issue than what we're doing here with the Occupy YouTube channel. They have more reach, they make more money, it goes further and it lasts longer.
So
The
they
echo
would love
goes
something
forever.
that they're playing on, because the ones that don't know what hunting is about, but are voters,
Yep.
community people that sees the whole, you know, show about the whole watershed protection with Jason Scott Lee, and, you know, then they see the shows, oh yeah, we gotta back these people, because this is what it's about. And that's what makes our job hard. Yeah, because no matter how much we go and voice, and no matter how intelligent or the biggest words we use, because of that show, it makes us seem like this.
That show is actually derogatory to everybody that live in
In
state of
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Because
Exactly.
it's not only hunting thing, because you know, I remember the one with the Hawaiian touches. Okay, now I mean, it's derogatory to the Hawaiians, right? You listen to the way they talk, they communicate with each other. That make every one of us in this room and on these islands ignorant. That is a portrayal of the people of the state. Because, I mean, in that video, there's nobody that talks and acts
Well,
regular.
yeah, no, I don't mean to prolong the conversation or to, you know, fight with you or anything, but what about Hawaii Five-0?
Honestly, I don't watch them since McGarrett went off.
Me too.
There is no McGarrett, no more.
Hawaii Five-0 is, everybody knows it's a show, but yeah, and they say it's a show, but in justification of that one, is like, you know, it's like Mike Sakamoto with his fishing tail, right? Or let's go fishing. everybody that sees it right on the internet wants to come to Kona where I was and shout out
And go fishing, exactly.
because it deals with it. I mean, in a nice, professional way, you know?
And I guess my concern is that, you know, I have my friends on the mainland and everywhere that call me, and everybody's had this happen to them. And they're not calling me and saying, hey, I seen that funny show on TV about you guys and this and that. They're calling me and saying, man, they really making you guys look like a bunch of savages over there, huh? What's up with this show? Where did this come from? Where these guys are? And you know, like that. I'm like, wow, yeah, it's all false.
Well, see, 'cause
So the perception amongst the world that is watching all of this is, you know.
It's more a question of labeling than.
Yeah, how it's labeled, exactly. Like I said, if it's on Comedy Central, you know it's supposed to be funny. But this is when I watch the History Channel, I'm watching it in the assumption that I might learn something that I didn't know, that I never learned in social studies. So now, how much of all the rest of that stuff is
All
not
of it.
real?
Exactly.
Most of it.
All of it.
You know, about the wars and all of that history.
They're not
real
selling
history
hunting
stuff.
or Hawaii, they're
Oh, no,
selling
I know
deodorant,
that. Exactly.
right? And Nike shoes.
They're selling.
To
yeah,
the sheep masses that sit at home and watch that crap.
They're selling diamonds from Jared. That's
Yep.
what they're selling.
Yep, exactly.
13 told of the clock, or is it sufficient?
So anyway,
I got
okay,
bad
thank
news
you.
for you, Willie Joe, there's no
Thank you.
news on CNN and there's no sports on the sports channel either.
Yeah. Mark?
Or
you have
music on
anything?
MTV.
You're out of here, right?
Or,
Come on.
no,
Don't touch the sports.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Mark.
I'm just thinking, new business, are we talking about potentially next meeting's agenda items?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mark.
You know, we should do a legislative update, Tony.
Okay, yeah, that would be
That's a
good.
good idea.
You know.
I would have had one today, but I don't know anything right now, so.
No, but the session will be over, right?
Yeah,
The session will be over, we'll know whether some of our legislative initiatives have passed. I think it's also important, Tony, that we take a look at the reps and the senators from the county of Hawaii who supported us and who chose not to support us. Okay? Because we'll be able to find out how they each voted, right?
Yeah.
Because we have some that are really pitching for us, and I just want to make sure that we all understand who's supporting our efforts and maybe those who are not.
absolutely. Okay.
So I think as part of the discussion, we should have that conversation as well.
Okay.
And just
Okay.
for the record, I'd like to say something to everybody in here. Tony's been working very, very hard in the legislature, and I just wanted to let you know that I mean, he's putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, you and Tom, and you know, you don't have to do that stuff, and I respect you a lot and appreciate everything that you've done for all of the people here. I mean, you put in a lot of time, so I just wanted to recognize that.
Thanks, Mark.
I would second that. Tony has done a great job on the legislative front. And frankly, I think as far as progress goes, if we're going to make meaningful progress, that's where it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So as it
So,
relates to
nice
all
job,
of
Tony.
this,
Thank you.
your email telling us that
Oh,
you've served a year.
okay, yeah, my
I'd
year
like
is
to-
up.
Before you go on that,
Okay,
I think it would behoove us to continue with, continuing your service. Because
You've been drafted again.
so, I didn't receive your email.
I think what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is that we have 2 open seats that we need to fill.
And
Big- big-
one is the Kona seat and one is the
That's-
Waimea seat.
8 and 9, I think, are you 7 or you're 8, Mark? It's on this, right here. It's 8, so 7 and 9.
It was one Rob had and.
Yeah, Rob White and Cleon.
Cleon. And if anyone here would like to serve, and
if someone can contact Alan, I don't know if he retired yet. I had talked to Alan about 6 months ago, yeah, but I've never gotten to call him and talk to him on the phone and see. And then there was Kyle Ikeda from Waimea. But he's busy with the Boy Scouts, but he, I mean, he would be good, but he hasn't.
One of the things that you can also do too, and I'm not telling you to do this, but what you might consider is to make a recommendation that you take the district residency requirements out of the, it's in the charter, I'm not sure
Yeah,
if it's
it's in the
spelled out
charter.
like that. So it's gonna take a charter amendment question on the ballot, but if you feel that strongly about it, if it's going to be hard to fill the seats, you guys are the ones here with the boots on the ground, and you can make the recommendation. There's no harm in that.
Go down, gotcha, yeah.
Yeah,
But maybe that, and the other part about that too is that'll shake the bushes a little bit too, right? If people are gonna say, can't do that, then you gotta tell them, come on out and help us out with it.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Lives in 9, Waimea? Yeah, he lives in District 9.
otherwise Steve would be sitting over here right now.
Hey, who you, me? No.
Yeah.
Dakota one, try, contact Miles Nakahara. Miles Nakahara used to be,
Yeah, I know
one in your
Miles.
office before, for DOFA. Contact him.
And feel free to throw out any other names if anyone knows. It's a constant, it's not just
I mean,
this.
that would really help with, get a couple more bodies on here, because there's certain things, you know, especially like the legislative stuff. I mean, I don't mind handling and tackling that, but if I'm gonna do that, a lot of this other stuff, you other guys are gonna have to step in and just, I mean, especially with the county, if you gotta do with the county council people, all that, I mean, it's just a whole nother level of contacting people and doing things and all that, and I don't have to.
The legislative stuff is just consuming.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like, you know, you get a day off and I'm at home and like, okay, I'm gonna do my stuff today. And then I get Cindy Evans' call, Malama Sullivan's office call, and I'm like I'm in the middle of sawing lumber. And then now they're asking me about legislative stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's the furthest thing on my mind, and I'm trying to make sense of it. And so it's constantly, you know, during the session, you just don't know when you're gonna get that phone call, you know? And provide useful information. So I think if we're gonna move forward, we've gotta get some more seats filled so that we don't have to worry about making a quorum, you know, because like comes meeting time now, I don't know what happened to Paul, I don't know what happened to Tom. Tom probably didn't wanna come because I was gonna ask that if anybody else wanted to be the chair or vice chair, or Tom could move into the chair,
Yeah.
and then somebody volunteer for vice chair.
It's still nominated.
Yeah,
I
do it
know,
now.
I should.
Hello?
Yeah, well,
You knew?
it's for the next meeting, and the reason why I said that, I'll still be here, because I got a 2-year term, but I figured if I'm gonna come back for a full term after that, then,
Let's be better.
you know what I'm saying? I can't be chair forever, and I thought
He was
if
Tom.
other people step in, just handle the more, getting the agenda done, those kind of things.
Point of order. I already made a suggestion.
So too bad for you.
I would like to add something for the business.
Okay.
I second it.
All in favor?
So is that Tom getting nominated?
I would like to have somebody from the Hawaii County Planning Department come talk to us about public access.
If you'd like to have the Larry Brown come in and talk, we just go ahead and put that on the next agenda item. He's already expressed his
Oh, okay,
willingness to.
so I'll just put him down as a
Yeah,
speaker already.
Just
Okay.
let me know. Give me some
Okay.
lead time, because he said I'd be happy to.
Okay,
So
okay. Should we have some specifics ready for him possibly,
Well,
or you just wanna get a general?
I'd like a general overview, but then I'd also like to hear, because he's an expert, what the issues are as it relates to public access. And then,
Ike, get next to the mic, man.
if it's not too sensitive for him, to provide us with some suggestions as to how we can address the issues that he talks about. Which might be too sensitive.
No, I think you could do that. I'll ask him.
That would really help us, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's part of Jordan Jokiel's one here to follow up when you guys
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
that working group for that, because that's something we came real close. In fact, we even drafted a letter to Mayor Kanoy. And then I don't know, Jordan moved out of the position, so nobody pursued it after that.
I think our plan was just to wait until they
Get
replace
somebody,
him. They will replace him, but they haven't done it yet, so.
Yeah, that's another thing, that's not on the, that HB 1700, to get the 750,000, that got pulled out also. It looks like it's only gonna be 250,000 if it gets put back in. And that was, part of that was to get an access and acquisition coordinator for DOFAR. So they're running into money problems already. It got pulled. And it's just because, I think I mentioned at the last meeting that they kind of buried it under all this other public recreational activities and then animal control and watershed. And that kind of, the finance looked at that and said, nah, we're not gonna give you more money for killing animals. Yeah, that's sensitive, but then we don't get our acquisition coordinator, so. One thing, if you look at a lot of the successful bills, especially on invasive species, it's very specific to that species. And then there's quite a few of them that float around and it's kind of just general monies that they try to get in, so. Of course, those are the ones that we did some opposition to. We were successful with most of them. It was just too general, too broad, and I think when it gets to finance and the legislature, they don't got money to throw away, so. All right, anything else? Mark, anything on your end?
I'm good, Tony.
Anybody in the audience? Got a few minutes more to go. Ryan, anything? Steve? Mel? How you doing, Mel?
Nothing?
I have something to say.
Oh, okay. State your name.
Glenn Pisashimo, concerned citizen. I know what the GMAC was formulated for. It's not that you're not doing your job. You have to look at the world crisis right now. There's a flu that's killing all the pigs in the mainland,
That's right.
domestic. Cattle is not growing in the United States anymore. Everything's coming from Hawaii right now. I'm looking at asking you folks, we gotta protect the resources now. The pigs, our pigs don't have the disease yet.
That's right.
When it happens, what are we gonna do? The price of pork is going sky high, and they're even saying don't eat bacon. They don't know if it's transmitted from pig to humans and humans to humans. They don't even know that scientific knowledge yet. Why are we waiting? Even as I look at the state, why are we waiting for this to happen to us? Our resources, our pigs are our island, wild cattle and everything.
There's an article right
You
there.
got it. Nobody paying attention.
No vaccine yet for it. Virus is killing baby pigs. They
Yeah.
don't make it past 2 weeks. And you're talking in the millions of pigs are dying.
So now what, we as a small island, we're gonna be the first one not to get anything from the
Yeah,
mainland.
it's, look at the map, it's spread to almost 38 states.
Any,
Much all.
any Hawaii? Any in Hawaii?
Nope.
No.
So why is the agriculture not doing anything about it? You can wait till it comes here?
Well,
That's the kind of message you folks should send out.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, maybe you can include that, what Mr. Hisashima said on our next meeting agenda.
Okay.
Create, I think what the council would be very appreciative of are specific recommendations like this. And, you know, I think your function could be to research these issues, put together a very cogent report in terms of the dangers. And then present it to the council, and then really, at that point, put it, you know, give it to them. Glenn, what district you?
Cool.
Yeah.
Island of Hawaii.
What council district?
We're gonna 2-3.
So put somebody on the wall. Huh?
We got a number one.
You know, you could also, you know what we're at it. You know what you can do, seriously, I'm sorry, Glenn, I didn't mean to go finish, but.
No, I'm just bringing this concern because they don't have a cure. Pork prices going up, and they're telling the human race not to eat processed pork. Is that message sent to anybody on the Hawaiian Islands? No. Look what has processed pork, Spam, Vienna sausage, everything.
Spam.
So somebody gotta bring that message out.
Yeah.
And I think you folks are right
That's
timing to make an impact. Hey, these guys worried about our concerns. That hunting is a separate, but I look at daily life. If we can protect the pigs, maybe we can tell DNR, you know, that's our resource. All the pigs in a minute will not. That will protect it for itself.
Thank you, like a recommendation. I know you think it's our job, but can you write a resolution to that effect?
No, I'm not going to write no resolution. I can give you the information.
Yeah.
But
We'll write it. We'll
you know,
write it.
your information is always read this, I don't want that to read.
You know what?
To retire, right?
Seriously,
No, seriously.
you have to, we really should. Okay, remember when this whole GMAC thing was formed during the campaign? One of the things that, and you remember what I said, that let's keep this out of the charter because of the difficulty that we're gonna have amending it, we lack flexibility. I think we need to take this commission back to the charter, to the voters, this election. The deadline for submitting legislation to put on the ballot for this November is probably like in May sometime. But what I'd suggest doing is, right now you're pegged to having only 9 members, 1 for each council district. I think that's seriously inhibiting for you. It should be like, just as an example, the Leeward Planning Commission, Windward Planning Commission. They're not pegged to council districts, but they're pegged to regions of the island, Hamakua, Hilo, Kona, and then they have at-large members. So that way, you're not going to run into the problem of, gee, we have this one district, we cannot find people, anybody, because there might not be anybody in that district that you like work with, you know. But if we had an at-large system, like the way the planning commissions have, guys like Hisashima, you know, who he likes serve, I know, okay?
No, he doesn't want to draft.
Huh?
He doesn't want to draft anything.
No, Reverend, you just
Just
do
like
one can
talking
spam.
to
like
you
do all.
guys.
One can spam, I can do all that.
I'm serving already, so.
Yeah, he serves on the ethics board, but the idea is, you are not then limited to these structured positions. And we should look at other changes that we should incorporate. I think, you know, I mean, what's done is done, but perhaps the way that this was created wasn't done in a way which properly anticipated the issues that we're now facing. I just throw that out, but if you want to move on that, you gotta move in May, because we gotta get it to we gotta make it a ballot question. I don't know how you guys feel about that. You know, you all are grandfathered in your districts, but instead of like 20, where you Hilo?
3, District 3.
Okay, but instead of just going 3, Waikiuka, Kaumana, all of that, just say 3 guys from Hilo, no matter where they are, but from Hilo. 3 guys from Kona, 2 guys from
District-wide, in
Hamakua.
other words.
Huh?
District-wise.
District-wise, 2 guys from Hamakua, 2 guys Kaupuna, 3 guys Kaupuna. Something like that. You know, that way you can, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud.
Being a member of the public, okay, which, like I said from the beginning, I did this, all of this before, I am not gonna do it again, okay? I agree with you. No, I agree with you, because before, remember
It's a
when the
first,
county,
by the way.
when the county council used to have at-large positions, those at-large positions, those guys could go around the island, okay? And not only for votes, but they had kind of like a reign, they could go between everybody. If this committee is, okay, limited to a certain section, I mean, if you come from District 5, where you get to hunt in District 5? No more.
Aruj,
I gotta
I'm
go
not
someplace.
talking.
Oh, but you thought you did the floor,
No,
sir.
bro, because I never give you, because I just thought of something else. I need
Oh,
to
so
say,
now you go somewhere
when
again?
we go back in for a charter amendment, we should annex this to a specific department and put language in there that there shall be adequate funds appropriated for the purpose of the GMAP. Put in a funding mechanism for this, because that, put it to the voters, that way the county has to fund it.
Hey Lincoln, this is Mark.
Yeah.
I agree. I think spot on,
That's the
man.
first two.
I think that if we could get
So
additional
this-
funding and a little
this is-
wiggle room on members, it would,
So this is what I would,
help.
this is what I would suggest, because as long as you communicate with me, there's no sunshine law problem. Okay, so I would suggest that all of you just spend a couple minutes thinking about things that you would like to see done differently with our board, things that you would like to see changed. Doesn't have to be the membership and the funding we just talked about. Just email me directly, but don't email each other. If you do, I don't wanna know about it, okay? Just email me, I'll put together a list, and I can work with the leadership of this group and to propose some changes, or we may not propose changes. But I'm thinking, what are the kind of things in the last 2 years, problems that we've had, that we've encountered, that we can do away with if we amend the charter? That's what I'd suggest we do. I just throw it out to
I
you.
mean, that's a good idea, I think.
It's totally up to you guys, if,
Yeah.
you know.
We never talked about this.
Yeah, okay, that's something that, yeah, we'll have to think about.
Okay.
Have you used it now, sir?
No, I'm not following it, because I don't think there's something else to say to shut you
Well,
up.
tell change the name. Thank you.
Huh?
Tell change the name.
I know, as I.
He said, like I said,
You know, it's more-
We gotta agree, no?
But we gotta think of a department to be access to, you can't be access to the mayor's office. No way, bro.
Enforcement.
No, gotta be, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, which one?
R&D.
Yeah.
No, you know they go there, you know why, you can
I don't
compete
know.
without grant
That's
money,
the
things
one.
like that.
Oh,
We need more departments.
what is Ponk under?
Punk is under,
the public,
Finance.
the public access one?
Yeah.
finance.
Planning.
It's logical because
Public
it's,
access and,
Planning.
it's our plan.
No, Punk,
Punk?
Finance?
Finance, yeah.
finance,
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that-
manage property, it makes sense.
public access,
The-
open
the-
space.
Yeah, the 2% one,
Yeah,
the,
that's Punk.
yeah, okay. Well, this kind of like, because according to the way we voted, it's not only game management, but you also gotta look at public access and resource management. So wouldn't she kind of like fit in there?
And fish.
That's why, if you change the name too, she'll fit in there way better.
I gotta think about this. We'll find a good home for it. No, right now you get the deputy planning director, you know, as your liaison, that don't make sense. We like him, but it don't make sense.
At-large member.
That's the other thing.
I'll be the staff
You
member.
make a charter amendment, you can add at-large, ex-officio seats, non-voting seats, if you like. You can do anything if you're given the flexibility. Right now, there's a legal noose around you guys' neck. It's a problem.
Yeah, some districts, you have like 4 people, 5 people, it could be on.
And you,
And then
and
others
and you gotta
just
turn them
don't like
away.
Yeah.
You gotta turn them away for 5 years, right?
So how can we get these going, because this next month is next week?
Yeah. That's why you guys gotta get the suggestions to me. I'll draft up something. I'll attempt to get it introduced by request, by whenever the committee chairs of the council. But you gotta get something to me.
May 1st, May 18th is the next only one,
Is it May?
council meeting.
And then,
Because we need 3 readings, 2/3 vote and 3 readings of, 3 separate readings on 3 separate days.
so, back to, what we were discussing earlier as far as, when we talk about Tony having, he had mentioned he has a 2-year term. So there were people who had a 1-year term. How do we go ahead and
You get,
renew that? How does that happen?
you have to be renominated by the mayor and confirmed by the council. For anybody who had 2-year term or 1-year term, you can be renewed for an additional 5-year term.
Right.
Who had the 1-year terms?
Tom?
Oh,
Tom,
And
we
he-
did him
Boss
last
just went the
week.
other day,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And who had the 2-year, you, Tony?
Me.
Only you?
Yeah, only me.
Okay, so Bobby, you gotta get the mayor for renominate Tony
Yeah.
and set him up.
Yeah, next year.
Well, no, end
It's
of
only
this
been a
year.
year,
We've only been doing this for a year.
right now, this month.
April, yeah.
No, but the start date, because the charter created before, this commission, even if it wasn't, staffed, on the 2nd November in 1st November in 2012, you existed by operation of law. So it didn't matter that you haven't physically served 2 years. Legally, you've served the day that the voters created this. See, that's the problem with the charter stuff. That's why I told you guys during the campaign, keep this crap,
Yeah.
stuff out of the charter. Because these are the kind of problems you're gonna have, but, there were political forces at the time that, I guess, brought you down that path, right?
Yeah. Just didn't know,
Your term, Willie Joe is what, 5? Okay, so you only can serve 1, but you stay on for 5 years.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering about that. I didn't realize he already did it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what the process was.
Bobby, or whoever sits in Bobby's position, will keep an eye on your term expirations. But you gotta let us know too. Make sure that, and see, that's the other thing, if we do a charter amendment, do away with the pegging to council districts. Somebody like Willie Joe, who turns out after 5, can come back on as an at-large seat. You don't lose them. Right now, there's a 2-year, there's a 1-year, at least I think a 2-year or a sit-out provision. You gotta sit out for a full term, which is 5 years.
Which would be the 5 years.
Yeah, so you gotta wait 5 years before you even come back.
Come back, yeah.
But if you have an at-large system, you just then move into an at-large seat. If it's the will of this group and subject to the mayor's nomination and consent and confirmation of the
That's
council.
Salem.
Lincoln, that seat will be served by Mr. Yasushima over here. Just joking.
No, you know what? No, seriously,
Being disbanded ethics board.
Granny's a good,
No need.
ethics
No,
board,
I
he's-
know, yeah.
he's humming, man, some good board. So, Tony, up to you guys, but just send me stuff, I
Okay.
can work on it. Let's make it work, this is hard, I don't feel like we get stuff done,
I just thought about it, like, what kind of stuff? Meaning, like all what you just said. Okay, just do it already.
Let's do it, yeah.
I'm
See, the
gonna
problem-
email you, I'm gonna tell you straight up, just do it.
Yeah, the problem is you
We
folks,
cannot be emailing back and forth.
well, that's why, send them
To
to
me,
me.
like,
I'm not
that's how
subject
it's
I'm not
work.
subject to sunshine, so send it to me. If you guys talk about it, you gotta agendize it.
Okay, will do.
So Tony, are we adding that to the next meeting as an agenda item? Is that your suggestion?
It'll be too late by then.
We can-
Report back.
Put them on, just in
Okay,
case you
yeah.
gotta
Report
discuss
back.
it. But
Yeah.
before that, just send me the stuff and then
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
We'll send,
I need work this week.
we'll have to send Lincoln our thoughts, preferably in the next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by this weekend if you can.
Okay.
But
By the
quick.
weekend.
By this weekend, so that he can
Yeah,
draft up something so that we can discuss about.
yeah,
If not, we're not gonna know what we're discussing.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Right on. Spam.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Ike seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, thank you very much. Thanks, Lincoln.
Thank you.
Okay, Marks.
Later, Ashita.
Here you go. I watched on YouTube.
Thank you. Thanks, Barbara.
Tell me to stay there.
Well, I didn't